This is Ed. Now I'm going to show you how to connect an MI cable to the facility's conduit system. And to do that, we provide a conduit body. It's a standard conduit body. In this case, it's for 3/4 inch rigid pipe. So you feed with your 3/4 inch rigid pipe to the conduit body. You twist it on like you normally would. Then we supply a compression fitting. So then you put the compression fitting on the other end. Our MI cable comes standard with 20 feet of what we call cold lead wire. It's standard building wire. In this case, it's just multi-rated THWN or THNN or MTW. It's multiple rated. And what you do is this portion of the assembly is going to be buried in concrete or asphalt, depending how the medium that you're installing this in. This is allowable per code to bury this thing because it's part of the UL listing for the assembly of this MI cable. There will be no connections made inside this. This is not being used as a junction box. So with that in mind, it meets the National Electrical Code. So what you do when you get to this point here and you're bringing the end of your MI cable up to this point, you would take your cold lead, in this case, depending on the amperage of your cable, will dictate the size cold lead that we put on the cable for you. This is part of the assembly. This is the 12 gauge wire here, so you'd be able to put this thing on a 20 amp circuit. Then you would feed all of your cold lead like this, being careful not to damage the outer layer, because any type of damage to wire, of course, will cause a ground fault. So you feed your 20 feet through here like this, which is a lot of fun. Then when you get this pulled this far and your cable's just laying on the ground, you get here, and then you've got the rating for the cable. Then you would just twist that around and you would run that through the compression fitting. Then you would run the entire thing. One second here. I got to loosen it up a little. Then you just pull that through. Loosen it up a little bit more. So you got about 3/4 of an inch left remaining to the end of this. This is a brass potting tube, and this is a brass compression connector. So when you get to that point here, you would just tighten all this stuff down, which ultimately seals everything. And at this point, wherever this 3/4 inch conduit is running to the next junction box, you would push a fish tape through to get it to this point here. It's typically a two-man job, because if you try doing this yourself, you're risking chafing the wire. So since I don't have a fish tape with me right now and I'm seated comfortably at a table, I'm just going to route this through as if somebody's pulling with a fish tape on the other end. And then of course you get to this point here, then you keep pulling until you get everything passing straight through the conduit body. There are no splices, no connections inside this. It's just a mechanical means to attach this to the conduit system. So when you get to this point here and everything's tightened down, the kit that we supply with this comes with some water repellent powder and a piece of duct seal. And the duct seal you would poke inside the feed conduit to seal any groundwater, any condensation, any type of moisture that could be in there. So you poke all that in there to seal that. And this is hygroscopic, so if you put it in there, if any water, anything, this will keep it out. And when you put that in there, which I'm not going to do because I'd make a mess on my table, put this on here, tighten it down. Now it's done. And again, this can be buried in concrete, asphalt, in crushed stone under pavers, and it does meet the National Electrical Code. That's that. Thanks.